What is good, people? Welcome to another full day of eating, and today what we're starting off with is the turkey sausages, and we're going to put them in some brioche buns, and we are going to be cooking them in the handy air fryer that I got. This Ninja is no joke, like it cooks so much more rapid than my last air fryer. I'm going to put it on lowest to 150 for about 7 minutes, and then flip them over and then put them in for another 5. I will say, for those of you that are brand new to using the air fryers, especially the Ninja, I personally would ignore the recommendations it gives you on the side of the box and like tells you how long you should put things in for. It's way off. Alright, this is a halfway check. So here, you can see what it looks like. Obviously they're not pink anymore, but obviously they're still not finished. And then yeah, put it back in. And here we go. Nice and brown. So first thing I did was I sliced all the sausages down the middle and spreaded them. But yeah, the reason I did that is for 2 reasons. 1, just to make sure the inside is actually thoroughly cooked, none of it's pink or anything like that. And 2, it helps cool down the sausages. And actually, there's a third reason. The third reason also is that when you put it in the actual bread or whatever it is, it's easier to stack them on top of each other. Alright, so this meal here comes up to around 485 calories and 40 grams of protein. A very simple meal. Typically, I'd actually probably have like either 2 or 3 sausages and I'd have like a whole egg. But I just didn't feel like having any egg today. I've had enough this week. So I thought I'm just going to stick with something nice, simple and basic. Easy to make. In the air fry, it was really, really rapid as well. If I was thinking correctly, I would have mixed in some bacon medallions. But I guess this meal now is now pork free, so I guess this is helpful for anyone who's like a Muslim or something that's watching or doesn't eat pork. Anyways, I'll see you guys for the next meal. Correction, I forgot to track the sauce. I don't always track seasonings, but sauces I do track because you'd be surprised how they can creep in and slowly add up. The amount of barbecue sauce I normally use isn't a lot. It normally comes up to around 25 calories, but I think that'll push this meal over 500 calories. Alright folks, finished off my cardio. Big tip for those of you who are gym goers, always sweat out your bad stuff, don't sweat out your good gym clothes. Anyway, right now what I'm going to quickly have is an orange and finish off the pack of these pineapples I was eating. So about 200 grams of the pineapple and one little small easy peel orange roughly comes up to around, I think it's around 30 calories, but I'll put the macros on screen for you to see. By the way, ignore the dirty dishes, but how do you guys like the new kitchen? So I've started changing the background, as you've noticed, as that is the tiles that it comes with the kitchen, which looks kind of basic and plain, but I've tried to make it look a little bit more modern, and it isn't being retiled. Basically, a bunch of people recommended just going on the internet and kind of getting these little sticky kind of strips, and basically you just put it on top of your tile, and it looks pretty good. Like, unless you really go up close, you can't even tell it's not a real tile just by looking at it. I think it looks more modern, and I think I'm going to finish it off, probably not today, probably by the next full day of eating, or probably complete across the full front. Alright people, what we've got is the cheaper Asda Essentials chicken, or whatever it's called. Obviously food prices have been going crazy, so Asda's kind of came out with this kind of cheaper version of meats that comes in the yellow packets, but we've tried it last week and it tasted pretty good, so I'm going with it again. So what we've got is chicken quarter pieces, so it's like the pieces you get at Nandos, so the thigh and the legs together. To be fair, it's good that you've arrived, because you can cook the chicken now. So basically, I'll do the macros on screen for you guys, but Korean's going to make the chicken now, so she makes these chicken leg thighs much better than I do. Basically, I would normally just skin it and then put it in the air fryer and cook it. However, to keep them juicy, what she does is she keeps the skin on the chicken, but then lifts up the skin and rubs like seasonings and herbs under the skin so that the chicken kind of marinates itself in the air fryer so it doesn't dry out. So yeah, Kareem will do that and I'll show you. I was going to say, look. I was going to say this. You look at this. It's a potato like a love heart. I was about to give it you. Look at it. A butt. This is how we're different. I see a heart, she sees a butt. Alright, so stay tuned for the food that's about to come. Thank you, Kareen. While you're doing that, I'll cut the potatoes and stuff while you do the chicken. So in regards to those of you watching, this is the benefit of having a girlfriend, because they can cook. Or having a girlfriend that can cook. If you have a girlfriend that can't cook, reevaluate. The only drawback is that when you have to make meals that's not just for you, then you have to obviously track the macros and everything. It's a little bit more difficult. Basically, we're going to cook in bulk now for 2 people technically, but I'll show you the macros that just I'm going to eat. I made love to that chicken, people. why are you actually stabbing the chicken, just so that the audience know?
It's just so all the seasoning can actually get into the chicken as well. Like, although I'm seasoning it underneath the skin, it's just so you can get in there.
So what heat and settings do you choose for the Ninja for cooking those big pieces of chicken?
So I chose air fry 170, and then I put it on for 10 minutes at first, just so it can start sizzling, cooking and all that browning and all that type of stuff. And then I'll flip it over and pop it on for another 10-ish minutes.
Alright, and while that's cooking, what I'm going to do is have a quick little snack. These are fake party rings. So they're not the real ones, these are actually from Aldi, but they taste really good. Like, when we bought it, we didn't even know that they were the fake ones. I didn't realise till like ages afterwards. There's 93 calories per package. You don't get many in there, but they do taste pretty good. So I'll put it in my fitness pal. I'll probably put down the full pack, even though that cream will probably eat some. Alright folks, this is after the first turn-in, so you flip it over. This is what it looks like so far. Alright, them looking good. Also, for our audience that don't know, what's the key signs to look out for when raw chicken to make sure it's cooked?
Pink.
That's the basic one. What else?
Clear juices.
That basically means it's not bleeding when you stab it.
Yeah, basically.
So here is the food here I've just shown you on screen. It's a pretty high calorie meal because it's quite a lot. Especially I can feel it, the plate feels heavy in it. So I've opted for the half a chicken basically, so you've got to get a Nando's. So it comes up to less calories than you would get at Nando's though. The total meal comes up to 680-ish calories. That is with one of the chickens with the skin on, and I'm going to take the skin off one of them in a minute. It's just flipping too hot to touch. Then I've got some potatoes. I've put most of the potatoes down, just the sweet potato, just because it's just easier than me weighing out each one. If I was by myself, I probably would have done it, but I just feel pretty hungry now. The calories isn't that different, to be honest. But in essence, this is a nice, tasty meal. Think of it as chicken and chips, or think of it as Nando's, wherever you're from. Half chicken with potatoes, basically chips. So yeah, I can't wait to eat this now. I'm pretty damn hungry. For those of you that want to have it even higher calorie, then obviously you can keep the skin on both of them. But yeah, man, trying to keep everything high protein, just so I can, you know, keep the gains fueled while I'm training. Anyways, I'll see you guys for the next meal. Next up, we're just gonna have something nice and simple, which is cereal. This cereal here tastes delicious, but it is high calorie for what it is. But what I always do, just to mix it in, nearly every cereal I make, you probably watched, I always use all bran as the base, and I use these as like toppings to make it taste better. I typically never have this cereal just because it's much higher calorie and very, very sweet, to be honest. But I had a craving for it this week, so I bought it. Plus, it was quite filling, that chicken I had. Like, my stomach literally kind of still feels full, but I want to eat something because I'm probably going to go to the gym in a bit, so I don't want to go there like, you know, feeling in and out. Just remember that you can have various meals at different times of the day. Technically, I've had these meals in like a weird order. For example, that last meal I had with the chicken and stuff, that probably could have been my dinner, but I just felt really hungry back then, so I had that larger meal. Cereal typically is people have it for breakfast, but in reality, you can have it any time you want. It goes for virtually nearly every meal in the day. The only time you'd ever change your meals, in my opinion, is if you have an activity that you want to like have a certain meal, not feel too bloated, or you need certain energy for something you're going to do for a long period of time. You know, if I was going to go on like a 2-3 hour hike, I want a decent level of a meal. You know what I mean? So I'd purposely make sure I had something that's going to fuel that walk. So far in the day, I'd probably say we are probably reaching around the 1800 calorie mark, and for protein, we're probably looking at about 140 at the moment, which is still good. Because any kind of day, realistically, that's over 140 grams of protein for most people, is going to be a fairly high protein diet. You know what I mean? It only increases based on the amount of muscle mass and size of the person and stuff like that. Alright folks, we are now back from the gym, so what we're going to do right now is a simple meal. So what we've got is a simple sirloin steak and also some frozen chips. These are the deep crinkle cut chips from Albert. I highly recommend these frozen chips. They're not too high in calorie and they taste pretty damn good. They're not too bad. So all I'm going to do is whack the chips in the air fryer. And I'll weigh these when it's actually cooked. As a heads up as well, when you scan this on MyFitnessPal, it comes up with the cooked weight, not the frozen one. So always double check just to make sure you're on the right track. Because sometimes, you know what I mean, people often don't look at that and they end up doing the wrong one. And it does make your calories veer off track. Right people, and here we are. This is what I call a high protein lazy meal. So basically it's 2 ingredients. Obviously we've got oven chips and steak. So basically this comes up to roughly, you'll see the calories on the screen, but it roughly comes up to I think around 600 calories. And in terms of the total day we end up at, we are looking at more likely around 2,500 calories. Protein's around 200 grams. Also obviously this includes my drink that I just had now. Overall, probably a little bit more calories than I normally would have. But if you just want like a somewhat freeze kind of day, this is what I'd have. Also, by the way, if you want to see Kareen cook more meals, let me know in the comments. Because tomorrow we are actually going to try and cook half a leg of lamb. I've never cooked lamb on my channel, I think at all. But yeah, if you want to see Kareen make more meals, that's also high protein, let me know in the comments. Anyways people, thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell.